Imagine it, getting new characters, a shiny new toy to play around, and then beating all new content with this new character. Must feel nice, doesn't it? Until you don't get such characters. Running out of currency in-game, grinding every possible crystal you have to try and get this character. But you just can't. Why is that so? Why can't I get him? I'll surely get him, right? 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 Nobody knows the answer to that question. As you spend more crystals to get this new character, you slowly enter despair and get tempted by the shop option in-game. An option that you will never consider when you first started playing. No way am I spending money on a free-to-play game. That's absurd. These thoughts you had a few weeks ago slowly came back. But now, new thoughts emerged. Well, maybe spending $1 to get the beginner pack wouldn't be too bad. I mean, it's nothing. Plus the value for crystals is immense. And this is the start to the downward spiral to the addiction. The danger of gacha games, a gambling addiction. Mobile games are all the rage now, and it's understandable because it's really easy to get hooked into these games. A majority of these games are free, but rarely are they free from in-game transactions. A mechanic where players can pay for the chance to obtain powerful characters or items. These games are dubbed as gacha games, derived from Japanese gachapon machines, where toys are dispensed in capsules. Over the past decade, their popularity has skyrocketed, together with the horror stories attached to them, where individuals have spent thousands to millions of dollars, millions, imagine, to obtain in-game items. Perhaps even scarier is how players have, ironically or otherwise, embraced the trend through memes and popular video content as a necessary obstacle to succeed in their games. So what could push players to spend such insane amounts on games? Games where you can play for free on your phone at any time. To understand this trend, one requires far more than condescension and dismissing it as just a product of youths lacking financial skills. For those looking for a way out, it is even more essential to realize what makes gacha games so addicting. Gacha games can be directly compared to the real world, as it is in the same light as gambling, but arguably with far more opportunities to get trapped. Just about every advertisement for these gacha games promote themselves for their generosity, for their kindness to give to the players the best that they ever wanted. Well, this may be true for when players start out, as there's of course a honeymoon phase, where there is smooth progression and many opportunities to roll the dice on these loot boxes. And for one game to another, these loot boxes come in all shapes and sizes, but their purpose is essentially similar to like a lottery ticket. Instead of winning money like in the real world, it gives players a chance to obtain rare items and characters. And these prizes are often shown by star ratings and flashy visuals that make their rarity crystal clear. And opening the boxes themselves can be exciting events, and there are many streamers or video game content creators that spend thousands of dollars spending money on such games and then broadcasting themselves to the general public, which entices others to do the same thing, as they believe that they have a chance to obtain these characters themselves. In games where players can fight other players, this pay-to-win aspect in games become even more obvious, as with better characters and items, you obtain clear advantages over other players. You get the ability to trample over other players who maybe did not spend as much as you. And this feeling, this desire to be the best, to defeat all other players, it is a feeling that all gamers desire. The desire to be number one. How addiction to gacha game arises can be split down to three main reasons. The first is how they, like just about every other addiction, are especially effective at formulating habits. These games promote players to log in every day with large bonuses attached to consecutive days played. This in turn becomes a part of the player's everyday routine and creates a sense of attachment to their in-game achievements and winnings. Closely related to this is the second reason, a term called the sunk cost fallacy. The more time, money, and effort spent on a game, the harder it is to quit. There tends to be this belief that the rare in-game commodity everyone is striving for is only one loot box away. Even after 100 failed attempts, even after 1,000 failed attempts, you get this thought in your head: one more box, I'll get the character eventually. I'll get this rare sword. I'll get the most powerful gacha character. Now this last reason, it may be shocking, as this reason may seem like a good thing for players, for people who play games. This reason is that gacha games create a sense of community, be it amongst friends or strangers on the internet who can relate to the in-game experiences. It is no coincidence that gacha game addiction tends to happen in youths who are denied physical social experiences and are more privy to peer pressure. For many youths in the world, gaming is a necessary escape from the harsh realities of the world, of the real world of school, of parent troubles, of friend issues. Gaming is a light in the dark. If the prices for these starts out at a few dollars, to be more involved in the far more carefree virtual world, these youths can feel that it is all worth it. Now, there are many helplines and programs that tackle with gaming addiction, but I feel like the issue isn't exactly with gaming as much as it is with gambling. The aspect of gambling, the trap that one has to fall into this downward spiral, spending money over and over and over again, this mental trap that you have, this psychological trick that is played upon youths, is something that these helplines and programs do not explore. It is something that is still maybe new in the world, and is something that I believe should definitely be looked into, as it is a very, very big issue and will continue to be so in the upcoming future. I was also a victim of this trap. When I first started playing this game, I was just playing it for fun. I didn't really consider buying crystals to get new characters, because the game is a game. You're not playing the game to waste money, you're playing it to have fun, to relieve stress. But this temptation that you have, this desire to get the newest characters, to add them to your collection, it is overwhelmingly strong. And once you start this spiral, this seemingly downward spiral, it is very hard to escape. Once you start spending just the little bit of money, just the dollar that you had from your parents, this amount slowly accumulates. $1, $5, $10. Eventually, it gets too much, and things get out of control, and it becomes what many call a gambling addiction.